Welcome back again. Before we start, I want to apologize for my late uploads in the past weeks. During the winter break that we're having right now, I'm gonna use that to catch up on my uploads on the few weeks I've missed, and hopefully make up for the lost time. Today, as usual, we're back on Scratch again, but we're not using the cat. Rather, we're making Geometry Dash. It could be some of you might know the game, some of you might not. I personally didn't like it as much, but here we are, and I'm recreating that game in Scratch. I'm just I believe back from when I played it, he was your character was mainly yellow, I think. So you can just make it as big as you want. For now, this oh hang on, I don't know how I keep messing that up so much. Oh, there we go. Okay, and now we have his eyes and the mouth. There we go. So now I'm just gonna group all this together and kind of center it. There we go. And drop the size over here. 30. We'll keep it at 30 for now. Probably still a bit too big, but we'll work on it. So first things first, we're gonna start with controlling this guy. So we're gonna use the one space key is pressed. And we're gonna try and create an animation for this today. So we're using repeat. And now we're gonna add a change Y by 10. So whenever I hit space, he goes up by 10. But unfortunately, what goes up today will not be coming down. So what we're gonna do is duplicate this and now make this -10. So if I pull him back down and hit space, he always comes back whenever we hit space. Sorry, hang on. I need a bit of water. So now what we want to do is create like a jump in motion for him. I mean, well, instead of jump in motion, I mean a movement motion for the levels. So what we're gonna do is paint on your sprite. First, I'm gonna rename this one to Geo to reference Geometry Dash. And under in Sprite 2, I'm gonna call this level 1 and name it down here just level. So for this, we want our fill color. You can use whatever you want. But first, instead of that, I'm gonna go over the backdrops first and kind of just put one over here. So we have our background. You can use whatever color. I feel like kind of this is kind of like a teal color, which I kind of like. So from here, I'm gonna make this fully dark so it's easier to work with later. And there we go. You can distinguish both of them. And we don't need the outline for this one. So there we go. And now we're gonna make it lighter so we can have. Can you tell us apart? No. There we go. Now we can tell them apart. So I'm just gonna do this to kind of and I'll delete that and use Alt to duplicate it, and then hold Shift to align it to the same line as the other ones. And now we have four, which we're going to use our just the background for it today. So from there, I'm going to just add another line, plain white line, right here. So we can kind of see what we're playing on. And this one's too big, so we're going to drop this all the way to 10, perhaps. Maybe 15. No, we got to use 10 to. Oh, yeah. If it's 15, I can come over here. Never mind. Group it all, and then drop it. Making this 20. There we go. So now we have our sprite jumping up and down, but we don't really have our level moving around. Oh, we can't really move around, move left or right with our levels. So what we want under level, back in the code, when green flag is clicked, add forever, and then add a change X. So right now it's change X by 10. So if I hit green flag, I know here this will go to the right. So we want it to go to the left, which is -10. So right there. So, and also whenever we start the game, we always want it to kind of like spawn right in the center. So go to X 0, Y 0. So now whenever we start, we have that. Just gonna make it bigger so we can sort. But now we have just that and just some open background. So instead of making multiple different levels to kind of fill into this, we're gonna go back to our costumes, duplicate this, and then just draw something over here so we can know which one is which. So and now we want to make sure that these don't stick out. So what we're gonna do is keep with the line, just draw something a bit longer than this, right here. Let me. There we go. Now this will make it so yeah, there we go. So you can actually scroll completely. There you go. There it goes. So now this is what we have. We have just the sprite jumping on thin air, which makes no sense, even though it's a game. So back in our costumes, since we have this duplicate, I'm gonna hide this for now. And in the code, we're gonna extend it. So under in control, if we use the if then command, let me stop this. And if the okay, we just bring this out on the operators, and if our X position if our X position is less than like 480, we want to change our X by 960. 960, which essentially makes yeah, oh, there you go. I hit it. which essentially makes this guy teleport back to the start. So there we go. I think it's because I'm on, yep, I'm on the second costume. So now we have that. So sorry. Instead of creating like an actual new one, we're gonna go back to this our clone. Just make sure we have it. And now under here, we're gonna move this down a bit. We're gonna break it off and separate this, which is create a clone of myself. So whenever you have create clone, it makes multiple clones of you. So we don't want to just like start clicking it. But we also want to make sure we have when I start as a clone connected to something. Because now this will make sure we actually have something for our clone to do rather than nothing. So now we start it. Yeah, we see clones moving and interlocking with this, which we don't want. So what we're gonna do from here, I don't know why I keep clicking sound. We're gonna use hide right here, which is the main background, and show over here. So now we only have that first one. But now we still have that space in the middle. So what we're gonna go is back over here. So this already is already named level 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use costumes today. So here, switch costumes to level 1. uh, Control, create a clone, which is already there. And then next costume. And since we only have 2 costumes, it means he's only going to be cycling through only these 2. Back in motion, we want change X by 480 and end it with another create clone. So now we test it out, and there we go. So now you can either keep, hang on, you can keep, where is it? You can keep this in, or you can just kind of remove it if you want. So now we can, oh well, I accidentally delete everything else. There we go. So now, because just moving straight is not really a challenge, anyone could do that. So what we want to do is create a rectangle, make it completely black. We don't, it doesn't matter if we have an outline or not. So there we go. And now we have this. So what we're going to use is this tool, the reshape tool over here. And just take one corner of it and align it towards, like, so we have a triangle. Now back on our arrow. There we go. And kind of just turn it around. And there we go. And now just shrink it down a bit. I'm gonna give it a bit of a white outline here. No, that's a bit too big. There we go. It's not too visible. So I'm just adjusting the colors so we can actually select something that can actually make us lose when we're playing. And I'm gonna duplicate this, Alt, pull it out and Shift. There we go. One more, kind of a bit far over here. So back in code. So I want to do control. So if then, and then touch and color, then click on it, and then yeah, that's a bit too low over here. Now this, the color picker, what we're gonna do is kind of look and pick out the edge we have for this and click on it. Now we're gonna have a when green flags click connected to it, have a forever loop, and then have a stop all. So whenever we hit it, it automatically stops the whole thing. So hang on. That might be, I might have taken the wrong color. So I'm going to bring this back to 0 and show. So I'm probably going to come over here because these doesn't look like it's working. So what I'm going to do is just delete these for now and then draw a new one. Kind of let me say increase that and increase the outline a bit. And there we go. So now that's a more prominent yellow kind of. Reshape it whoever you want. You can just make it like this if you wanted. Or we're keeping the signature triangle and then tilt it. So I'm kind of just using my arrow keys to adjust it to be right on top of the white. And shrink. So these two are right next to each other. And then this one, because for some reason the other color didn't work. So back on code, I'm going to use different, I'm going to select it again. And now we hope this works. So place it in there and start. See, now it isn't working. I don't know why. So the best course of action we can take here is completely just scrap these guys for now. I'm gonna give it one more try, but instead of outing an outline this time, we're just gonna straight up forget about it. And there we go. Doesn't really matter about how big the triangle is or if it's kind of uneven. So there we go. Go and 0 so you can kind of align it. And then Alt, Alt, Shift, right next to it. But this time we're gonna flip this horizontally. There we go. I'm gonna make one more again. Right here, so you have enough time to react over here. And there we go. So now I don't believe there's a way this shouldn't work. So there we go. So now if it touches it, there we go. So if it hits the black, instantly stops. So now I'm gonna add under variable. So score When green flag is clicked, we want a change score variable. Change it by 1 and wait 1 second because we don't want it to always be changing constantly. So if then, so put this in here. And now sensing, so if touching the level, change the score by 1. And there we go. Another thing I forget is always add in the forever loop, or it only checks it once. And one more bug, our sprite isn't actually touching the level. So what we want to do is kind of make go 0 and bring him down here where it actually touches the level. And then switch his, where is it? I don't think I actually made one for him. So when green flag is clicked, I want to go to this one, this current place, maybe a bit lower, so we know it's touching it for sure. So negative 167, negative 36. So this should work. There we go. For some reason, it doesn't. There we go. So now every time it touches the level, score increases. And and unfortunately, this is going to be a two-part series I'm doing today. So today I'm going to stop here, and hopefully maybe tomorrow or on Monday I'll be out with the other part, and then we can make this. We can make Geometry Dash with more challenges. So I'll see you guys then.